In this lesson, students will be able to multiply up to 3-digit multipliers using their knowledge of the distributive property and multiplying by multiples of 10. Math Talk is crucial to effective math classrooms. Math Talk allows students to have their own voice as they make sense of mathematics and find different ways and approaches to solving problems. This lesson is designed specifically to support Math Talk and students. When students are multiplying a 3-digit multiplier, it can be a long process for them to write out the partial products with so many zeros. In this lesson, students will be able to discover a process that can be more efficient by decomposing and adding zeros, and yet still maintaining place value understanding. We are going to start by multiplying 6 times 43. We can illustrate this using the area model. Let's place 6 on one side and 40 and 3 on the other side. First, we multiply 6 times 40 to total 240. Then we multiply 6 times 3 to total 18. Then we add the two products together to find the total area. 240 plus 18 equals 258. The area of the rectangle is 258, so 6 times 43 equals 258. Now we can look at the same problem using the distributive property. The distributive property of multiplication states that multiplying 2 or more factors together gives the same result as breaking one factor up into 2 or more addends, multiplying all the addends with the remaining factor, then adding all the products together. I remember the distributive property like the game Angry Birds. The term outside the parentheses is launched to hit each term in the parentheses. When a term is launched and hits another term, they are multiplied together. You add the products together. First, we launch or distribute our Angry Bird, the number 6, and multiply it by the first term in the parentheses. 6 times 40 is 240. Then we launch or distribute our 6 and multiply it by the next term within the parentheses, which is 3. This time, we total 18. We add 240 plus 18 to total 258. In this method, we decompose 43 into its place value. Tens and ones were separated to make multiplying easier. In this lesson, the teacher may ask students in discussion, does decomposing numbers make problems easier to solve? How? Responses could be that breaking numbers into smaller chunks makes them easier to do mentally. Our next problem is 50 times 35. The teacher may open up discussion and ask students for the first step. The student could illustrate their work as follows. The 0 would be moved to the right, multiplying the 5 times 35, and then adding the 0 to the end. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 30 is 150. 25 plus 150 is 175. We then add a 0 to make the answer 10 times greater, which is 1,750. So 50 times 35 is 1,750. We can extend this knowledge by solving 56 times 35. Students could come to the conclusion that if we decompose 56 into 50 plus 6, first they could multiply 35 by 50, then multiply 35 times 6. Then add those together. We had solved 35 times 50 to total 1,750. Now we will solve 35 times 6. 5 times 6 totals 30, and 30 times 6 totals 180. 30 plus 180 equals 210. We then add that to 1,750 to equal 1,960. This method is not always most efficient when solving a 2-digit by a 2-digit number. Some cases, partial product may be more efficient. However, for some problems with larger numbers, it may be more effective to use this strategy. We will use this method again with a larger number, 425 times 37. First, we multiply 425 by 30. We slide the 0 to the right and add it at the end. 5 times 3 is 15, 20 times 3 is 60, and 400 times 3 is 1,200. Altogether, this totals 12,750. Next, we multiply 425 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35, 20 times 7 is 140, and 400 times 7 is 2,800. If I add these together, I get 2,975. Then, add the product of 425 times 7 to the product of 425 times 30. So, 425 times 37 equals 15,725. The objective for this lesson was to multiply up to 3-digit multipliers using their knowledge of the distributive property and multiplying by multiples of 10. In this lesson, we saw multiplication problems up to a 3-digit by 3-digit multiplier using the distributive property. We talked about how to use multiples of 10 to make the process more efficient. We also discussed the importance of math talk in classrooms.